What up, guys? Welcome back to Base Damage. This week, continuing the discussion that I was having with Mr. Bentley Coombe. How you doing, bro?
What's up? Glad to
Hey.
be here again.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Basically, continuing where we left off at with, excuse me, with going over a lot of the new sets that are coming out or have been announced for between English and Japan, and the Japanese formats and whatnot. We covered English in the part one, so this will be touching a little bit more upon Japanese because uh, you know more about that than I do as far as like what's been represented in the tournaments. And of
hmm
course, I just enjoy going over the fucking sets and just it's just so funny to see like all the stuff that they've done for that. So, um, but before we get into that, just wanted to also mention my buddy Chris Cone, his Twitch stream. As always, if y'all would check that out, link in the description. They do D&D campaign and take donations for Children's Miracle Network for charity. It'd be really awesome if y'all check that out. And Kool-Aid thanks you. I know, I'm just being crazy now. Uh, but yeah, dude, I just got back from anime convention and like seeing all the like there was actually some vendors that had a whole bunch of the Japanese stuff, and I'm just like, I want to get it. I want to get this ReZero trial deck because Rem, but
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was like,
Also, everything's like so steep at conventions too. Like they know that's like it's the convenience of going to a convention. Like these prices though.
mhm,
Like instead of
completely,
like
yeah,
getting it like another place like Ami Ami or whatever.
mhm, completely understandable. To which you kind of have to know your prices going in for stuff, like especially with singles. There was only
Yeah.
one vendor selling singles there, and it was I was able to find some stuff that was marked lower than what they normally go for, and I was able to do a little bit off that. But then I look at other ones where it's like, why is this like $8 higher than normal? It's like,
Mhm.
fuck, and that's just on the English end. I ain't even touching the Japanese end of like anything. Um, but yeah, dude, it was really cool. And one of the cool things was we had a Weiss tournament in there was run by one of the card shops that is in Raleigh, and so it was they did a mixed format, and I had never really messed with any of the mixed formats before. So they're like, yeah, we're gonna be following the ban list, and I'm like, fuck, I can't run in my Contai deck.
Yeah. That's yeah.
So
I've seen mixed formats and like big tourneys too. But, like the only thing I'm really used to is like mixed languages and like at locals how you can use JP and English. But like we
mhm.
don't have to adhere to like the like for if I run English contai, I don't have to adhere to the JP ban list
Yeah,
for locals. So
we get it full power.
yeah.
That's what I like. I mean, that's kind of what I like a little bit more about English as far as like no ban list right now, quote
Yeah.
unquote. But before I start calling predictions like I did with Konosuba, I don't know how I did that either. Um, um, but yeah, I've kind of like as far as like the whole English thing of it. We're getting Konosuba. A couple other things have been confirmed, and we went over that in part one, except for Konosuba. And the second I heard about that, I immediately texted like three or four people and just like, well, start saving up your money now, guys. So
I I had a feeling that it would come to English because it's a pretty popular series.
absolutely, it doesn't surprise me at all. But at the same time, of course, you still hear the people going, "Where's my Monogatari season 2?"
Yeah, or CG2.
Exactly. Like honestly, like I've seen a whole bunch of the different like stuff from CG2. Obviously, Triad Primus being one of them,
Yeah.
and like it's really like that's kind of one of the sets that would intrigue me a little bit more than Monogatari. No offense to any Monogatari players out there, I would prefer to see CG2 over Monogatari, but that's player preference.
Idols.
Yeah, exactly right. Idols, like we don't get enough of that. um, but speaking of idols, quote unquote, one of the JP sets that we're gonna be getting soon, which I'm actually gonna go ahead and try to do a set discussion for eventually. Which actually, Bang Dream, since we're getting that in English really soon, I'm going to try to do a set discussion for that. But the other one being, we're getting the Love Live Extra Booster, or Love Live Sunshine Extra Booster, I should say. Sorry, no, none of the original girls. Sorry. Um, but we're going to be getting that. Star Wars, bruh, Star Wars finally got confirmed.
Yep. And so far, it's looking pretty good.
Like, I remember you were like posting in the podcast group about the hashtag Shioko Clan, uh, about like the effects were really cool, and then I go to look at the art of it, and I'm going, what the fuck art is this?
Yeah.
So it's like they couldn't like obviously for anime they could just literally take pictures of the fucking scenes or screenshots from the anime,
Hmm.
but for this they seem like they like went the MTG route of having people draw their own card designs.
Yeah. Actually, the thing is, like, J Star Wars is actually pretty popular in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you go to like Akihabara or like other like otaku places or whatever, there's actually a huge following for Star Wars merchandise, and like I've seen like videos on YouTube of like people like show like Star Wars stuff from Japan, and like the artwork is similar to what we see on like the Weiss cards. So it might, I guess probably like Japan or something has like rights to these artwork. I wish it was like an actual like movie screenshot, like you said. That'd be much cooler looking. I
Yeah.
guess they just want to stick to that like the like 2D like 2D like 2D card game uh aesthetic that they're trying to go for Weiss Schwarz.
I can understand where that's coming from. Like, also if I think about it, like it might be also a copyright issue to get like direct
Yeah,
screenshots.
yeah, that's true as well. And I wonder if they do plan on doing SPs. I doubt that they're gonna do like English voice actors. Or probably, if anything, I'm guessing they might do like the Japanese like sub, like the people who like are the voice actors in Japan.
That's a damn
Or
good point. I hadn't even considered that.
yeah, or maybe just like a logo, like a Star Wars logo and like gold stamp.
Damn, I hadn't even considered that. Fuck. Oh god, that's gonna be really weird.
It's also the first set to have the back of the card, instead of saying like the standard Weiss Schwarz image, it's
Yeah,
just straight up Star Wars.
I heard about that too. I was like, wait, does Jafurk? But it's still gonna be classified under Weiss,
Yeah,
so it's like, okay, well,
and
like,
like so you can't mix like any other like cards or promos. So like those Shioko cards that you can like splash into any deck, may
yes.
technically be Neo standard legal. You can't even mix that in with Star Wars apparently. So
You think that would be a problem even though people use card sleeves? Like, I mean, for real, like anyone who um
oh, with the back, with the card back.
because of the card back, I mean, what was it a while back? Pokemon had the same thing, and even MTG going into other card games real quick. Even
Yeah,
MTG has the cards with the alternate sides, and fuck, actually, Force of Will as well has cards that have like two sides, but they don't
yeah,
care because they can still put it in the types of card sleeves that you can't really see through the back of it.
yeah. Well,
So
the back of the card is uh, black, I think, and it's just like it has Star Wars on it. So I don't think it'll be like that much of an issue for like
yeah,
the like sleeving stuff.
yeah. No, I mean, as far as obviously you couldn't do it in a deck without card sleeves because you'd be able to tell which one's the Shioko card right off the bat.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's sorry. I realized I didn't like specify there. That's my bad. But I mean, I couldn't like. Not that you really need to run Shioko stuff in a fucking Star Wars deck, but it'd be funny to watch Shioko and Yoda just kind of high five each other and go on about their business. But
Yeah.
but as far as like for that specific reason and the fact that other card games don't really have a problem with that because of the whole don't really have a problem with the double backing thing
Yeah.
because of card sleeves. I can't really see that as an issue as far as
I I definitely think it's more. It might be more licensing stuff because
it's a
I
pride thing.
people have been talking. Yeah. People like I've been checking out the Discord, and like I think some people are like or shop owners or whatever from Asia, and they're saying that like it's some of their distributors can't even like order Star Wars to their country or whatever. I think Amiyami might be there might be issues with ordering from Amiyami because you can order Japanese booster boxes, pre-order them from Amiyami or buy
Yeah.
them. So it might be having just licensing issues in general. Like it might have like the girlfriend beta. Like I think there was a post from Bushiroad recently saying that it might it might be like only playable in certain tournaments, like depending on the country. So
Oh, you mean the Star Wars set itself?
yeah, it's yeah,
Oh
it might be a
shit.
whole licensing discrepancy. So
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's also understandable because they kind of decided to pick one of the more, I don't even know to go with popular or well-known series that it's
Yeah,
international. I mean, you can't
I
you
guess that's one of
yeah.
I guess that's one of the contingencies for like getting such a known series, like a big popular series. Is like there's probably like a lot of licensing like processes that they have to go through and approve
Yeah.
of.
Which I mean that's understandable, but I mean for anime,
Yeah,
it's not as it's not to the same degree
yeah,
as far as a popular series that's been around obviously longer than Weiss Schwarz or any of these other anime have ever been around.
hmm
Fucking Star Wars came out way before I was ever even a thought, personally. So I mean, you got to wonder what was going through their heads when they went, well, why don't we get Star Wars? And just I think they were smoking one too many shrooms that day. Not that I'm against this set, I'm not against
yeah,
this set in any way, shape, or form. It's just hilarious to me the fact of literally the next big jump they decided to do was we're doing anime, we're doing you know mobile browser games. We have our
yeah.
own uh, we have our own card series and whatnot. What are we gonna do to top all of that, bruh? Jar Jar Binks in this shit.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know what their thought process on that was, and I don't think any of us will. So
Yeah, no one was expecting Star Wars.
yeah. But to go along with the theme of this podcast, do you think that the Star Wars set, if they can get this is a big if, and I'm
Mm,
specifically emphasizing this part, if they can get the whole copyright and licensing issue straightened out, if it could be used anywhere, do you
yeah,
think this would be a good set worth investing in?
yeah. Like the cards that they showed so far are I can tell it's very power creep because like you can tell just by like the rarities of cards like rares or like commons or uncommons like these are effects you see in like double R's from other sets even like not too old sets
Yeah,
just that alone is just power creep and
exactly.
also it's I think it's good for the game itself if we can like get it to English especially because like it'll attract a huge player base I feel.
This is very true, and that's definitely a huge upside to it because I know so many Star Wars fans, just straight up,
Yeah,
just
and then there's people who used to play Weiss, and then like they said they picked the game back up just for Star Wars.
yeah, I've heard that. I've actually gotten that a lot too. Like, obviously, that's one of the bigger things about being able to try to get people into Weiss is, hey, you like AOT or you like SAO or any of these other number series. And I've specifically got my Matt in because he's like, wait, Bakemonogatari has a set. Okay, count me in, type thing.
Yeah, especially like some of the cards they sported are like force mechanic, and it's pretty flavorful. So
Yes, I
like
wanted to
a
ask you
lot of
about that.
players enjoy. Yeah, a lot of players enjoy playing cards and like understanding what like the cards like the reference to the card effect.
Which I wanted to ask you about, if you would please clarify the force effect. Like we'll continue on obviously with the other sets as well with this
Mhm.
because I had a couple ideas. We have other ones to definitely go over, but I wanted to touch on this
Yeah.
new mechanic, quote unquote, in it, as far as like new thing to the card game. So
Mhm.
if you would please go over this force mechanic for those who don't know.
There's multiple force mechanics that's been revealed, but generally, what the requirement is, it's during the beginning of your climax phase, I believe. You discard. So far, it's been you discard a character card. I
Mm-hmm.
think the 2-1 Luke is the only one so far that's only any card, but pretty much you discard a card, generally a character card, and then what you do is you swap one of your opponent's characters from like their front row and switch it with like their back row, essentially.
Oh my god.
Some of the cards like the Darth Vader level 0 can do something can do the force mechanic, but it's
Mm-hmm.
specific where you have to like discard a red character and you can only swap like a level 0 or whatever with like another card. So
Which I don't know what all colors have been confirmed for it just yet, but that's easy to set up. Oh, we're going to pull this, weak character in front row for some on reverse effects very easily.
yeah,
So I like that too. It's just really, it's an interesting mechanic. Like you don't see the whole switch thing outside of SAO type thing of
yeah,
going, oh, well, not literal, but I just, you know, That's essentially what goes on is switch, type thing.
Mhm. And
Uh,
then previously with Weiss cards, for like moving back row cards to the front or whatever, like just being able to attack the back row, like
yeah,
usually this cost is like pretty steep or whatever. Like they have to have an open slot to move them to the front row or whatever. So it
yeah.
the force mechanics is a bit easier for you to like manipulate
Mhm.
and like attack their important back row.
Yeah, I can only know like of a handful of cards. It's either based off of like climax combos or something of
Mhm.
that nature. You're right. Usually it's a steep ass cost or really specific stuff just to go. Oh, I don't like your back row anymore. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, completely understandable, and it's very much an interesting mechanic to which it actually is going to get people to think. All right, so what do I want to have back row in case they do their shenanigans type thing, or will I play any back row at all?
Yeah.
So it's I mean, sure, they're if they have a big character out in front, that big character is going to live if they switch it. But it's like, okay, well, how much advantage are they going to net off of it too? So
Yeah.
it'll be an interesting thing to see once that comes out, because especially once more stuff comes out. I don't know. Do you think I should still try to do a set discussion for Star Wars down the line just for the fuck of it?
Yes, I think so.
All right, should I get you in on it, or should we or what?
Oh,
Like, who?
yeah, I'd love to join.
Okay. We'll try to see how that goes, and obviously there's other umpteen other sets I'm going to be trying to plan for. Um, Trying to get different people in and whatnot. But one of the ones I know we also specifically talked about in the moving along as far as like the sets and whatnot. If we have to come back to Star Wars, we will because, you know, reasons. um, I know one of the ones we specifically talked about in the first one was Vivid Strike. I just wanted to reemphasize that the Japan getting that and to definitely be on the lookout for it. Um, Another anime that had come out recently, Kimono Friends. Not kimono as in um, the outfit. Um,
Kimono and Friends, right?
the Kemono
Yeah.
for the like. It was one of those weird series that like kind of started just getting a very large fan base very quickly.
Mhm.
Um, like I tried to watch the first episode and I'm going, this art is so weird. Having just watched, like the first fucking episode of Kizumonogatari,
Mhm.
and you're like, oh wow, Kizu's so fucking pretty. Go to Kimono. What the hell is this? Like it's cute. It's still adorable and whatnot, but just the art was literally a portion that I was having a problem with as far as just like, well, not the art, the animation.
Yeah.
Um,
I haven't seen it yet, but generally what I hear is that like the CG is like kind of cringy. Like it's like you can tell it's low budget, but like overall like the whole show is like cute, but it's worth it, I guess, watching.
Absolutely. To which I'm planning to go back and watch it at some point, but at the same time, it's just like I'm still kind of glad that those kind of shows that just kind of spring up out of nowhere would be getting a
Yeah.
Weiss set, just in general.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
fairly new anime. It's kind of nice.
to compare, we're not getting a set for this, but Berserk also had some of that weird CG that people were looking at it going, what the fuck? So
Yeah.
I've heard mixed reviews on. I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh yay, more Berserk!" Obviously, just because the original was umpteen hundred years ago. Uh,
One other thing for what I heard some people talk about was like Kimono Friends and ReZero were actually in chaos sets as well. So there used to be this idea where in the past, like if a chaos set, if a series was in the chaos game, then like we would never get it to Weiss. So this kind of like breaks the boundaries of now it's possible to get like sets that are even from chaos that can come into Weiss.
yeah, I had heard about ReZero for that. I didn't know Kimono Friends was in there. Okay, cool. I did not realize that was in Chaos. So that's interesting to know. So that more sets of that are being brought over, like you said.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting to see what all else they bring because they have quite a few sets in Chaos, like first like bringing over.
Yeah, there's a
What?
lot of very etchy
Yeah,
etchy sets.
yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but also bouncing to another set. Love Live didn't Love Live have some uh
Um,
some
for
stuff in
chaos?
Chaos?
I don't think Love Live did, but I know Idolmaster does the original Idolmaster.
Okay, got you. The 765 group.
Yes,
Got you,
yes,
got you. I had to think about it because brain. Takane, best girl, just saying.
yeah, right.
I mean, for real, just triggered people. Um, but okay. So Kimono Friends is going to be an interesting one. I'm definitely going to want to see what they do with it. Um, Also, there totally needs to be a climax of Grape Coon with with his waifu. So I just like, that was one of the bigger things I found out later on was like obviously you see that like in Facebook feeds or whatever of there's this penguin that was like they said it was like feeling lonely or whatever, and they put a little cardboard cutout or a cutout of the penguin girl from Kimono Friends, and he got really happy and was like didn't act like he was lonely anymore or something like that. So that's another thing that got Kimono Friends like that much more popular.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. But that'll be an interesting thing because I kind of want to see what they do with that. Considering also the CG in that, you think they may also try to do like what they're doing with Star Wars, like try to get some other people to do some art for it, or try to do their own kind of art for it.
I think it's possible.
Considering how the CG was, you got to wonder if they're just going to try to do screenshots or if they actually might try to do some of their own art for it. Like it'd just be interesting.
They usually like sets. They usually get like promotional artwork as well to use it for
True.
promotions.
So we'll probably see a lot of that, especially for like promos and whatnot. So
Yeah.
Obviously, shortly after Re-Edit came out for SAO, we got confirmation of the SAO Ordinal Scale movie.
Yeah.
For a set for the movie, to which is just going to be interesting considering, like, what all the hell are they really going to... I watched the movie because there was some special showings over here in America for it for like a particular week or something like that. They had showings in Greenville, and me and Joe and Matt went and watched it, and it was good. Like I liked how it went down. It just I don't know what all they are going to take out of that thing for a whole set. Do you think it's going to be a full set or an EB?
Honestly, I think I can see it being a full set. It's like I thought it could be an EB. It could be either or, but Madoka Rebellion I think was a full booster. Yeah, it was a full booster.
It was. Oh shit! I didn't even consider
Madoka movie.
Madoka.
Yeah, so it's possible that this could be a full booster. But regardless, I feel like it's probably gonna really help SAO even more than already how good it is.
Well, true. Didn't Madoka have more than one movie though? For Madoka Rebellion, wasn't it like 2 movies?
I don't think so.
I may be misremembering on that, and I apologize if I am
Sorry?
because it's been a hot minute.
All I know is like just the Madoka. Like there's the regular Madoka from the anime for the booster set, and then there's the movie, and that was a booster as well.
I couldn't remember if it was just one movie or if it was 2 movies that they were able to take a whole bunch of basically content from. I just couldn't remember off the top of my head.
It was a pretty long movie, so the Madoka movie.
Actually, they may have done 2, and I think the first one was mostly like a recap thing. That maybe.
Yes, you are correct.
That
yeah,
may be what I'm thinking.
The first movie. Yeah, the first movie that came out before Rebellion was just like a recap.
Okay, that's what I'm confusing with.
And they only showed like new scenes, but it's like not really that important from what I heard.
Yeah, so it wasn't that too terribly much of like extra content they could grab from, but okay, understandable. Okay, so well I mean, yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff that did go on in the movie for the SAO movie. They could do a full set, I guess. Now that I think about it.
Yeah,
because the Madoka is a very good example of that. You have a good, valid point there.
I'm actually kind of triggered because the Kantai movie came out last year, and then like I was hoping Kantai would get a movie set, but there hasn't been anything announced.
That would be so awesome too. I would love that actually. Like I don't even know what they're like. I don't know. Like I actually haven't seen the movie yet, to which I want to be able to see it pretty soon.
Apparently, it's based off the and it's a direct sequel to the anime, like where the anime left it off.
Yeah, I saw where they were bringing in some of the some more girls into it. Like I saw, like they're bringing X number of them in there, and like even some more got like the Kais or Kainis by the movie, because they had like little PVs for it and whatnot, or little trailers and whatnot for it when it came out, or when it was in production or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I saw all of those. So I was like, okay, cool. We're getting like all these different girls in there. So I could understand, like, that'd be pretty cool too if they did that somewhere down the line. So we're gonna call that right now.
Yeah,
Oh, base damage and waifu wars called this shit just straight up. Just
yeah.
oh, look at hell. It's like how one of the podcasts we did a while back where we actually called Konosuba or something like that. It was just fucking great. But okay, so ordinal scale, which will be interesting to see what they do, considering how much, kind of referencing one of the regionals that occurred recently after re-edit dropped. Fucking six of the top 8 decks were Sword Art Online decks.
Yeah.
And okay, actually, because we're doing a JP discussion for this mostly, how represented is SAO currently in Japan? Do you know off the top of your head?
It's definitely played in Japan. Like, it's not like a sleeper set or whatever. But
It's not like that one dude that shows up with the Log Horizon deck and is like, "Hey guys,"
But there's just a huger, more representation for other sets that kind of like out distribute ordinal skill. So
so
I mean not ordinal skill, SAO.
SAO in general.
It's definitely one of the played decks in JP though.
So yeah, that's
fine in JP as well. So
yeah, that's just kind of where I'm wondering of how much more big of a boost would SAO even need over there, if any? Because I mean, for fuck's sake, it's played like hell over here. I don't think there's any SAO cards on their ban list, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's no SAO cards on the Japanese restriction list. But yeah, I'm also curious to know what type of other effects that they're going to be getting in this new set that's going to come out later this year.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, and that's definitely a set that I'm wanting to go over because I've always been interested in the SAO sets because that's kind of what got me into it. So I'm curious as to what the hell are they going to give us type thing. Considering re-edit, they only gave us 20 or so new cards, something like that. So it'll be interesting to see. Also continuing as far as like continuations, because this is also kind of a continuation because SAO has several sets. I'm not even going to count the re-edit thing as like a whole set, even though they did get new cards. Going along Prisma Elia, or the Fate series in general, but even though I know you can't mix the Fate with Prisma Elia, they're getting their next season for Prisma Elia Dry. Which dry, not DRY as in dry desert, DREI, which is German for 3. They brought in obviously there was also Zwei, which was 2 in German. So they bring in a whole bunch of German to it, but that's also because of how the series is. Like one of the girls in there, Ren, uses a whole bunch of incantations that are in German. So
yeah,
I'm sitting there going, I know what half of what she's saying.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was kind of funny. But they're getting more of that. So I mean, they already have Kaleidoscope. Fucking what was the other Zwei? Zweiform. Thank you, because I couldn't think of what it was called. They have Zweiform, which people were kind of looking at, going, "What the fuck?" I literally found a video a while back of. It wasn't even that long of a video. It's probably like 12 seconds. It was just a picture of Zweiform Elia on the Weiss card, and just that picture of a dude walking up with a giant clock going, "It's time to stop."
Yeah, I saw that as well.
So I was like, "What?" And then I saw what the fuck what the card did, and going, okay, yeah." So that's kind of one of the other interesting things I want to see what they do for it. But do you think it will have really terribly much of an impact? Like, considering I know Kaleidoscope is run, like, but because of Kaleidoscope being such that high risk deck, high risk, high reward, sure, but do you think it would impact it a whole bunch?
The
dry set? Yeah, would the dry set impact what's already used for Prisma Elia?
It's kind of hard to say, but I guess if like there was like meta breaking, like meta defining cards, and yeah, I personally I like the Zwei form a bit more now.
Hmm.
Um, Kaleidoscope has Kaleidoscope is like technically one of the best finishers in the game because you
Oh
can
yeah.
like do multiple instances of burn one on attack.
Oh god, yes, it is so beautiful.
It's just the only problem is the trying to get it set up. It's
Yeah,
like it's very hard.
but if someone goes ahead and like gets the full effect off and is like a stack of burn 3 on every single character, I'm just gonna scoop and go, good game.
Yeah,
I don't
you
care
pretty much
what
did at
level
that
I'm at.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't care what level I'm at. I'm about to die.
yeah.
It's, I mean, shit. That's 9. It's essentially 18 damage in varying instances
Mhm.
because 3 instances of 1 and then 3 damage, 3 instances of 1 and then 3 damage. If you
Yeah.
get the full effect off. No, I'm not gonna sit there and just let you try. Just let all that try to go through.
Yeah.
Just no good game.
Uh, Both builds are like pretty respectable, but I'm guessing like the dry form will probably the dry set will probably help both builds. I'm assuming. Well, that's my prediction at least. And it will probably have its own cards too that like might erase the whole Zwei form and like this is the new builds. But
Hmm.
I'll be curious to see what the spoilers will be.
True, because kind of also delving into the anime because I've watched all of the Prismalia anime. They've
Mhm.
confirmed a movie, which Dry leads up to the movie because basically right at the tail end of Dry, spoilers for anyone who doesn't want to know this, they start to tell some backstory stuff and kind of just like end it there after all the other events have transpired, and I'm not going to tell those events because that's the true spoiler. But literally the very last couple minutes of the very last episode for Dry, they're like, okay, some shit went down. This is what went down, and it kind of cuts off there to set up for the movie. So, to me, I also kind of see that as a whole bunch of stuff went on in it. So it's gonna be some interesting stuff to see card wise anyway, especially how fucking good the animation gets for that show. Just with the fight scenes is just beautiful to me.
I haven't
Um,
seen the anime, but like from what people were like telling me when Dry was announced, like apparently there's a certain male protagonist that has a lot of scene from that season.
yeah.
So the people are speculating that there might be more cards for him for this new set. So
Yes. I'm speculating the same, and to do as little. If we when the set actually comes out, and if I decide to go over it or not in a set discussion, spoilers are going to be rampant. It doesn't matter. But at this point, I won't actually try to delve into who all it is. If you don't know who we're talking about, go watch the fucking anime. You have a good long while to do it. So to the listeners, not directly to you, Bentley. Just, although I recommend it still. You probably should watch it.
yeah, I'd only watch it for Luvia. That's girl.
Well, she has some very interesting scenes throughout the show. I'll give you that. So she's in there. She is definitely in there, and it was I'll just put out the word maid outfits. Just we'll leave it at that.
I love me some good oh ho 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 ho's.
Yes. I'm sorry, I just love her reactions and stuff. The haughty bitch laugh, essentially.
Yeah, I'm better than you. I'm a rich bitch laugh.
Yes, fucking great, man. Uh, let's see, what else? But okay, I can see that kind of paving the way. I say paving, but setting up for the movie coming out and probably getting a movie set somewhere down the line, especially if we're getting all this other stuff movie wise, ordinal scale and whatnot.
Mhm.
I'll be interested to see how that goes. Um, it's already. I'll basically the last thing that's confirmed coming out that we know of at the time of this recording um, is the ReZero trial deck that just got announced. The trial deck plus, which is going to be weird because they're only introducing 2 new cards. Everything else in the thing's reprints. So
Yeah.
what are they reprinting, or like have they even confirmed that yet?
Well, they said there's only 2 new cards, so I'm guessing it's most of the cards are still gonna be like the standard like trial deck that you would get. But the 2 new cards, one of the pictures is Amelie and the other picture is Rem. So I'm guessing they're gonna be pretty good cards to warrant a whole like reprint of this trial deck or whatever. So
True. To which I'd actually be interested if what stuff does get reprinted, because there was a level 1 Amelia that was supposed to be really good as far as just like setting up for the basically their search engine kind of thing set up.
Yeah,
It's
the plussing combo.
their plussing combo. It's kind of like Nita Minami, if I'm not mistaken, from Idolmaster.
Yeah, but it's even more dumb because you don't have to reverse. It's just on attack.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, you don't need you. It takes out the best part of the combos. You don't even have to interact with your opponent. You get the combo regardless.
See, so that would be so great if they reprinted that in the trial deck. I just would love.
Yeah, that'd save money for some people because it's a pretty good card.
Exactly. And then, please reprint my level 3 Rems. Just and then give it to us in English. Just
That'd be nice.
I don't know. I'm hopeful. I would love to be able to see that come into English. Mostly because I want to drop Reinhardt on somebody's ass. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That'd be just fucking great. I don't like best characters aside for whatever anyone wants to pick. Dropping that level 3 Reinhardt on somebody is going to be the biggest laugh I ever get because it's going to be hilarious. So, anyway, just I mean, shit. I've seen some people who like talking about like doing their deck builds will tech in. Well, as long as they have yellow in there to begin with, would tech in a copy of the Reinhardt anyway, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, it's pretty easy since like one of the level zeros you're running is a mill runner, the yellow felt.
The felt, yeah.
And the backup, the Reinhardt backup, the 2K costless backup.
Mm-hmm. It's not difficult at all to be able to really get the color for that, so it's like, okay, bring it. So that'll be interesting to see. Really, I'm more interested in what gets reprinted as opposed to what the new cards are. I mean, obviously I want to know what the fucking new cards are or what they do. But what gets reprinted would be just as interesting. So, and then one of the other ones that I'm kind of throwing this out there because I plan to do a set discussion for it eventually, because I did go back through and watch the movies and the series for it, is Chain Chronicle. To which when the Trial Deck Plus was announced for that, like a lot of people were saying it had a whole bunch of good stuff in there, and I was like, okay, well, let's see how this goes. I watched the anime and I was like, okay, this has potential. And I haven't looked at any of the other cards from the booster pack just yet, so that's just kind of me throwing out there, hey, look out for future content type thing, but that's whatever. So
from what I know, like for Chain Chronicle, it's been out, and then like I see like most people talk about like the mono yellow build. It's apparently like the quote unquote like the better build from like for the colors, which I can see. It has like a lot of like modern effects. Like it has Azusa and Pink Runners, and like it has a level 3 finisher that's pretty good.
Not on the level of Yami, but
it's something though.
All right, so that'll be interesting to check out. So I'll definitely enjoy looking through those cards once it gets to that point. But just throwing that out there. So really, minus Chain Chronicle, all the other stuff that we've talked about so far, as just like, or mostly me ranting about and be like, what do you think about this? Which of these would you definitely say that you are the most interested in seeing how it does, what it does to the meta? Which one are you most hyped for, bro?
Probably Star Wars.
Or Star Wars? All right. Once again, they got to get their copyright stuff straight, but we'll see how that goes. I don't know which one I would be most hyped for, really. Because, like I said, I want to see some ordinal scale stuff, but, like, okay, this is going to sound really hypocritical. Considering our generation and all, I have only ever watched one Star Wars movie.
Oh, really?
And it wasn't even one of the good ones, from what I've been told. I watched Clone Wars. That was literally...
the first three films in like the whole like chronology of like how the timeline is for the universe, the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, how the chronology is supposed to be. It's supposed to be episode 3. if I'm not mistaken on that, and I could be completely wrong, and I apologize if I'm butchering that. But
Um,
that
I
just
think
shows that I haven't
Clone
watched the
Wars
other
was the
ones.
second one. I think.
Clone Wars was second. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. The I think the Phantom Menace was the first one, and then Clone Wars was second, and the third one was I don't know. It's the one. It's the one where kind of spoilers where Anakin gets emo.
Rigasimo. Oh God.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's not really a series that I'm extremely hyped about. Like obviously it's something I grew up, hearing about. Obviously, may the force be with you, and just all the sorts, the memes, the madness, and just there's no escaping Star Wars for this generation. You're gonna find out about it one way, shape, or form. You may not find out about ReZero,
Mm.
but for our generation, you're gonna find out about Star Wars. But I've only watched one movie, so I can't. So and this also, correct me if I'm wrong on this. Also leading into a question. The question being, what movies are they taking from for this set?
Okay, so they're taking from four through seven. So like
Oh, so I won't even know anything as far as Clone Wars. I won't even know any of the cards.
the third film was Revenge of the Sith, but yeah, they're taking the four through seven. So that's with Luke Skywalker and the whole like Darth Vader, and then like the seventh is the most recent one that came out in 2015 with Ren and
New Hope.
The seventh one is the most recent one, The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
realized you said Ren, but for a second my brain was like Rem. What? Rem? What?
Yeah.
Brain. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. Just another disclaimer. I have seen so much cosplay this past weekend, so I have lots of just various picks. So obviously, every time some like Joe would be like, "Hey, there's a Rem over there," I'd be like, "What? Where?" That's where that stems from.
I can see why they chose to do four through seven because like you said, like one through three was like they're not as like critically acclaimed as like the four through seven.
Yeah. So, like, even though they're not as critically acclaimed, to my understanding, even though there were, I think, two of them got like their own little mini series on Cartoon Network. As
Yeah,
far as, like I saw there was a Clone Wars mini series. There was a whole little like CG looking series that came out way later.
Yeah.
I don't know which one that was based off of. It might have been Revenge of the Sith. It might not have been. But so they took from that stuff and put into other TV shows, to which is what I know more of, as far as just like what my experience has been. Even though obviously I've seen the whole the Anakin what was it called? Oh my God, the racers.
Yeah.
Obviously the one race that Anakin is in when he's a kid. I've seen that. I've definitely seen that. If obviously because that's just stuff you're not gonna be able to avoid. So like you said, so 4 through 7, you think they're mostly gonna pull from that?
Yeah, it's already confirmed that.
It's confirmed that. Oh, okay. Which I mean, shit, that's cool. That's cool enough as it is. So.
Yeah, I think it's also because my personal theory is that they probably don't want to pick 1 through 3 is because a lot of people don't like Jar Jar Binks.
Oh my God.
Especially the robot chicken rendition of him.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that too. I'm sorry, that was also one of the greatest scenes ever. Just was, oh, Boba Fett's got a lightsaber. Lightsabers. And just I know for a fact everyone's been exposed to that too, and that's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Okay, so Star Wars. If you had to pick another set between Star Wars is going to be potentially a thing if they get everything straight to definitely invest in.
Mm-hmm.
If you had one more set to pick from this list that we've given so far, minus Chain Chronicles since that's already out, what else do you think would be a good set to invest in? Because we have Ilya Dry, Ordinal Scale, Kimono Friends, Vivid Strike, and the Love Live Sunshine EB.
I guess probably Ordinal Scale, like SAO, just because like the thing with like SAO is like it's one of those series like with Love Live, like you expect Bushiroad is going to make more like content or whatever. They're going to make more products or releases for these type of series.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so popular and like it
Completely
sells.
understandable.
So it's like one of the safe picks if like even if you're not going to be like competitive or you just want to play casual, then like at least you'll feel comfortable knowing that like there's going to be more cards for you that are going to come out that you can just like add to your deck or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. To which, like you said, it's just constant upgrading at that point. So I'd probably still have to pick Ordinal Scale, but if I picked a second one, I'm bouncing between Ilia Dry and Vivid Strike.
Mm.
Like, because I want to, like, obviously I already love the series for Ilia, but at the same time, I'm also curious about Vivid Strike. Like it's supposedly in the other one that we did, we got some comments on it as far as people, some people giving input on it. So it may end up being pretty good. I don't know. Maybe that's just the just people being hopeful, but I kind of want to see it do something. So I'm kind of torn between those two.
Yeah,
Um,
overall like this year with like what they announced like most of these sets like SAO, AOT, and Ilia like they're like decks that are like definitely playable and like they have some um existence within the meta. So it's just anything is just going to make the competitive scene more interesting. So
Valid point. To which, okay, so yeah, actually something like Vivid Strike coming in and just be like, hey, what's up, bitches?
yeah,
Boom,
that's fair game.
it'd
Yeah,
be an
it's fair.
interesting thing to see there. Okay, no, that's fair point. Um, okay. Let's see. Did you have any other? Uh, we're about at like our mark as far as like for time, but if you have anything else that you want to put in, I know I've been talking a whole lot this podcast, but if you got anything you want to put in, just go for it, bro, because I know you always got like good insight on a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
So
Um, Generally, if you're gonna get into JP, like uh, you realize that JP singles or buying JP in general is like cheaper compared to buying English product or singles,
yeah.
just because like it's more readily available within like the JP format. And there are ways to order JP cards. You can use one of the more common ways is a site called UUTE.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's kind of like it's the prices are like JKTCG where it's like cheap, but
Mm-hmm.
then it's bigger than JKTCG because it's like it's like a pretty big company in itself.
Mm-hmm. About as far as just the sites go, I've also heard of Ideal 808. Do they do JP singles? Or are
They
they
do
mostly
for
English?
certain sets, but not everything compared to like
Mm-hmm.
uh, UUT.
Okay, because that was Ideal 808 was pointed out to me for English. Definitely, like that's a really good one to check out. But okay, for Japan, UUT would be the way to go.
Yeah, but the thing with UUT though is that you
Mm-hmm.
need UUT only ships domestically, so they only ship within Japan. So you have to use like a third party mailing service like Tenzo. Tenzo's the one that I use, and you have to know. Well, thankfully, if you have Google Chrome, you can it automatically translate
Mm-hmm.
the page, so you can get a general idea. But pretty much you sign up for Tenzo, and it's free. And what Tenzo is, it's like a warehouse where like they keep anything that's mailed. That so if you order from UUT, like you put your address, your Tenzo shipping address, which is like pretty much a little cubby for them. For so it gets shipped to your cubby or whatever, and then like Tenzo tells you that okay, your package is here, and then like you select the shipping method for Tenzo, and then Tenzo ships it to you.
Okay.
It is costly. If you want the fastest way is EMS shipping, which is like around like $20, but it's like the fastest. Like you'll get it within like a week. You can also get it cheaper, but then obviously it'll take like a week or two. There's also TCG Republic. The good thing about TCG Republic is that they do ship to the US. The only bad thing is that the prices are a bit more compared to UUT, and there's at least a week wait where you have to wait for them to process your order before they can even like ship your cards out. So same
Okay.
thing applies to TCG Japan. TCG Japan has like prices that are like UUT, but it has the same issue with TCG Republic where you have to wait a week. but they ship to U.S. just like TCG Republic.
Gotcha. Okay,
And,
so
this-
that'd be
and then
interesting.
finally, I guess there's also if you have Facebook, there's the Weiss Schwarz foreign page. Um,
Yes.
there's a lot of JP products that people are posting for sale. The only thing I would advise is that you have to really follow the rules for the foreign group because it's very easy to get like banned or like kicked or whatever.
Yeah, I've definitely seen where some of our own people have been kicked, like even temporarily.
Mm.
But
And
yeah,
you have to be aware of who uh who you're getting stuff from because they might be from like Singapore or like another country and that might take longer than what you would expect it for it to arrive. So you just have to keep that in mind. And
yeah.
also with understanding with like conversion rates between like whatever currency that you have within your country.
Oh yes, definitely, because that's a very valid point there. I hadn't even considered that. So
Yeah. And then there's also you can be lucky and check like the Weiss Schwarz NA page or like the international page.
yeah,
Sometimes people be selling JP singles, and
yeah,
I
I see
guess
that on international all the time. So
yeah. And then finally, I guess if another U.S. within the U.S. that sells JP singles is the Card Academy. They have a good amount of JP singles,
hmm
and they're in Ohio, so
oh,
you
okay.
have an idea. Yeah, and then also there's Destination. I've seen Destination sell some JP singles.
Bad pun for me, real quick, but you can
Yeah,
get it from Ohio.
yeah. And then
Sorry, because it's Japanese. Okay, bad jokes. Uh,
and then finally there's Hammer Girl has like JP sealed product. So if you want to order like boxes, or there's Ami Ami if you want to pre-order and have it.
yeah, I
Those
remember
two
you
are
had
usually
mentioned Ami Ami earlier.
yeah, those two are usually the like one of the more affordable places to pre-order stuff.
hmm So it is a lot of do your homework type stuff because obviously checking people on Facebook and making certain reference checks are a thing. You do reference checks straight up.
Yeah,
So
it can be quite intimidating, but there if you just Google like how to like if you just Google like UUT tutorial or like for Weiss UUT tutorial Weiss like one
mhm.
of the first results will be Pojo like the Pojo forums,
Oh wow.
and then there's actually a tutorial on how to do it step by step. That's how I learned how to use UUT and Tenzo. So
If you would actually drop me the link for that, and I can put the link for that in the
yeah,
description.
totally. Yeah.
So that actually will help a whole bunch of people out. So link in the description. Check out the awesome advice from Mr. Bentley Kuhn because he's fabulous like that. Just saying. Um, with that, we'll go ahead and be signing off here. Uh, thank y'all for listening for part 2 of our discussion for between investing in different sets and obviously stuff to be watching out for as it comes out. Um, Obviously, always check our our set discussions and whatnot because I try to go over each of the stuff and what we think is good or bad. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out Waifu Wars. Link in the description for that as well. Um, if you would, be super appreciated if y'all hit him up and subscribe because Dude Man's awesome. Dude Man's just I've enjoyed this entire time of knowing you and not knowing like the rest of the podcast group. So
Subscribe to Base Damage if you haven't already.
woot, damn Skippy. Um, but all right. With that, this has been Kool-Aid and Mr. Bentley Coon. Waifu Wars. Duh.
Dahlia's best girl, by the way, from Live Sunshine. Just pointing that out.
just for the reference, just. Sorry, that just caught me off guard. That was great. But we will see y'all on the flip side. Peace out for now.
Bye.